Hello everybody, in this short video guide I'll be showing us how to integrate our landing pages built with Elementor with various email marketing platforms. I'll be showing us how to integrate our Elementor landing pages with MailChimp, Aweber, ActiveCampaign and GetResponse. First with MailChimp. First thing you need to do is to make sure that you're signed in into your WordPress backend. How do you get there? Your site.com/wp-admin. So this is my WordPress backend, and the next thing I'll do is I'll come to pages to find my landing page. And here is my landing page created for the purpose of this demonstration. Let's see what it looks like. So this is the landing page created for the purpose of this demonstration. You can see it's quite simple. So here under pages, I will click edit with Elementor. Edit with Elementor. A page is coming up. For you to properly integrate your landing page with your email marketing platform, you want to ensure that you have created a list. A list is where your user details are stored. When people opt into your landing page and they fill your lead capture form, their name, their emails, and whatever details you're collecting gets stored in a list. So for the purpose of this, I will be showing us how to have this done with MailChimp first and foremost. So the first thing you want to do is come to MailChimp. Make sure you are signed into your MailChimp account. Go to MailChimp.com, put in your username and your password. If you are using the free MailChimp package, you are only entitled to one list that comes default at the point of creation. In MailChimp, a list is also known as audience. But to integrate your landing page and your email marketing right here, first thing you need to do is click on the pencil icon next to your lead capture form. Click on the pencil icon so that it can reveal the edit form properties to the left of the screen. And the next thing we need to do is go to actions after submit. Click on it. And then under actions after submit, we will select MailChimp. Once we selected MailChimp, we'll notice that this option came up. So we'll select this option as well. And then for API key, we'll switch to custom. So right here, we need a custom API key. What we then need to do is come to campaigns, under MailChimp, come to your MailChimp dashboard. Okay, click on the drop down arrow next to your username and select account. When the account page loads up, what you want to pay attention to is the extras, not the integration. Click on the drop down arrow next to extras and select API key. So choose one of your API keys. If you can't find any here, then you need to click create an API key. So I'll click on create an API key, and then you can see your new API key is ready to use. So I'll just copy the most recently created one, which happens to be this at the top. So I'll copy the API key, come back to my Elementor and paste the API key under the custom API section. Paste it there. So basically, API stands for Application Programming Interface. It allows two or more web applications to communicate with each other. So basically what we're trying to do is to get Elementor to communicate with MailChimp, or to ActiveCampaign, or with Aweber, or with GetResponse using the API key. So we've pasted the API key. Once we did that, and Elementor recognizes it, our lists gets showed to us. So this is my list right here. in MailChimp. So I'll select it. After selecting the list, the next thing you need to do is field mapping. You want to ensure that name gets stored in name on your list and email gets stored in email. So email right here, and then I'll choose email. And for first name right here, I'll choose name. So the name, which is this field right here, will get stored in the first name column in my mailing list, while the email field right here will get stored in the email column on my mailing list. Once I'm satisfied with this, I would click on update. So update was successful. Let's test to see if our integration was successful. Every time you integrate your landing page with your email marketing platform, always test your integration. So I'm going to view this page right now. So this is our landing page after we've integrated. I'm going to put in my name and then my email address, and then I'll register now. You can see here the form was sent successfully. Let's come back to MailChimp to verify. I'll click on audience, which is the same thing as list in MailChimp. And we can see right here, it says this audience has one contact. So let's click on this to see who the contact is. So we can see right here, this is the contact. So our integration was what? Was successful. So this is how you integrate your landing page created with Elementor with your MailChimp account. I hope that's very clear. Next thing I want to move on to is how to integrate your landing page created with Elementor with ActiveCampaign. So click close this MailChimp window. I'll come back to my Elementor. I'll click on the edit pencil icon right here, and I'll come to actions after submit, and I will remove MailChimp. I'll choose ActiveCampaign. So once I choose ActiveCampaign, the ActiveCampaign section becomes active, so I'll click on it. So here it is requiring that, so for ActiveCampaign would require two things: your API key and your API URL. So how do you get your API key and your API URL? The first thing you need to do is make sure you have created a list. Make sure you have created a list. So how do you create a list? I'll come here and I'll click on lists. And then I will add a new list. So give your list a name. So I'll call this demo list. And it's asking for a list URL. A list URL is the URL of your landing page. A list URL is the list URL of your landing page. How do you get the URL of your landing page? You can click on the hamburger icon here or the menu icon. Right click on view page and copy URL, copy link address. Right click on view page and copy link address. So come to my ActiveCampaign, paste the URL there. So this is the URL of my landing page. And then I give a list description. Basically, a list description is to remind your contact on why they are on your list. So I'll say you're receiving this mail, or you are on this list because you opted in or you signed up for one of our free courses. You don't want to write something too long, it's just a one sentence description of why they are in your list, and then you click on add. So I have created this demo list. I'm going to remove this so we don't get confused. So I have this demo list with no active contacts in it, 0. So I want to integrate my landing page with my ActiveCampaign. Now that I have a list, Elementor is requiring, come back here, pencil icon, actions after submit, ActiveCampaign, and then I choose ActiveCampaign. Elementor is asking me for an API key and an API URL. Make sure that your API credential is set to custom. So how do I get my API key and my API URL? After creating a list on ActiveCampaign, I'll click on this gear icon, which stands for settings. Under settings, I'll go to developer, not integrations. You'll go to developer. So waiting for this to come up. So the first thing you need to do is create your list, then click on settings, and then choose developer. So this is my API key. I'll copy this first. Copy it, come back here, I'll paste it here. Then I'll come back to ActiveCampaign, copy my URL, come back to my Elementor, and paste it here. Once you do this, Elementor will fetch. Elementor is supposed to fetch your list. Sometimes browsers store previous settings in memory. So that is why I needed to refresh this, because it was still seeing the list from MailChimp. So repeat the same process. Pencil icon, actions after submit, ActiveCampaign. For my API key, I'll come here, I'll copy this, I'll paste this, come back to Elementor, paste this. Then for my URL, I'll copy this, come back to ActiveCampaign, copy this, come back here, and paste my URL. So it's fetching my list right now, and then you can see it's saying demo list. So I'll click on this list. So I'm telling Elementor that the details that will be supplied here should be saved in demo list. And then the next thing you need to do is field mapping. I want email stored in email. I want the email collected here. I want it stored in the email section. And then I want the name collected here. I want it stored in first name. So which is fine. And then the next thing I do is update. So update was successful. So let's check out our integration, whether our integration was successful. Always test every integration you do to verify that it was successful. So I'll put in my name, I'll put in my email address. Let me put in a different email address, just a test at example.com. Then I'll click register now. So we can see the form was sent successfully. So let's check our ActiveCampaign to verify whether the integration was successful. How do you do that? Come back to your lists. Click on this bullet icon here representing list, and then we can see demo list, the list we created. It now has an active contact of one person. So let's click on it to see. Always verify your integration. So we can see right here, Akinsoya Joseph, test at example.com. So our integration was successful. So that is how you integrate your ActiveCampaign with your Elementor landing page. I believe that's clear. So we're done with ActiveCampaign. I'm going to close it, and I'm going to remove this from here. So the next thing I want to show us is how to integrate our Elementor landing page with with GetResponse. For those of us using GetResponse, first thing you need to do is ensure you've created the list. So this is a list that came default with my GetResponse account, and I'm going to create a new one. So I'll click on create list. I'll give my list a name and I'll call it demo list. Then I create. Okay, this list already exists, so it says to give it a different name. And I'll say another demo list. Awesome. So I have another demo list right here. You can see it's empty. So I'll come to my Elementor landing page, click on the pencil icon next to my lead capture form, and then actions under submit. Actions after submit, I'll click on get response. So you can see a new panel right here, get response. I'll click on it. So get response, for API key, I will select custom. So we are needing a custom API key. I'll come back to my GetResponse account, come to the menu right here, select integrations and API, and then click on API right here to your left. You need to generate an API key. Give your API key a name. I would say demo API. Generate. So this is my API key. I'll click on copy to have it copied. You can see API key copied. I'll come back to my Elementor and I'll paste my API here. Once I do that, Elementor automatically fetches my lists. So I'll select the list I want the details to be stored in, another demo list, and then day of my cycle. Can leave this blank, but I could say day 0 if you understand what this means. What this means is that when this person opts in, what day of your emailing cycle do you want them to get started from? So but for now, the most important thing is field mapping. So I want to say name should get stored in name, email should get stored in email, and then I will click on update. So that's it, updated. Let's test our landing page and our integration to see whether it was successful. I'll refresh. And then I'll put in my name and my email address, and then I'll register now. Form was sent successfully. Let's confirm. So come back to my GetResponse account and I'll click on lists. Can we see right here? Another demo list has a new contact. Let's verify. And there it is right there, Akinsonya Joseph. So that is how to integrate your landing page created with Elementor to MailChimp, to ActiveCampaign, and to GetResponse. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.